Welcome everyone to the 91st episode of Friday Fleet. Friday Fleet community came along eh, the being as a brainchild of CA Poonam Pathak as well as CA Kalpana Thakur under the aegis and guidance of CA Dr. Rajkumar Adhukia sir. Now, Friday Fleet was created with a simple yet powerful vision to uplift, upskill, and empower women professionals. It's more than just a learning platform. Through thoughtfully curated sessions, we try to nurture um excellence, professional excellence, personal growth, as well as confidence amongst our community members. And just as important, it also brings together the community wherein we connect, the women professionals connect, collaborate, and learn from one another and grow together. So before I ask the speaker of the day to actually share her expertise with us, I'd like to introduce her to you all. So, the speaker today is a passionate investment analyst, a finance enthusiast, and a dedicated value investor. With over 8 years of experience in equity investment advisory, she brings both academic rigor and practical market wisdom to the table. An MBA in finance, a CFA level 1 qualifier, and a certified research analyst, she combines strong technical expertise with a deep understanding of market philosophy. She believes that successful investing is not just about numbers, but about mindset, discipline, and clarity. She takes a hands on, sector focused approach and deep dives into one industry at a time to uncover promising opportunities and identifies what she calls hidden gems. Through her Suchi Nayar's Weekend blog and her research insights, she shares regularly on social platforms. She simplifies complex market trends, breaks down business models, and makes investing accessible for aspiring as well as seasoned investors alike. Her mission is clear: to help individuals grow their wealth responsibly by maintaining a well researched balance between equity and mutual fund exposure. Please join me in welcoming our speaker for the day, Suchi Nair. She's going to talk about uh, the key aspects that we need to keep in mind while we are tackling our investments in this volatile market. Indian equity market, as we all know, is impacted not only by the routine volatility, but also by the geopolitical influences of the wars waging ahead, the political ups and downs between the various countries, the trade policy shocks, the US trade policy, that has an impact on how our markets and our companies work. So, Suchi will be sharing what we need to keep in mind while investing in these turbulent times. I hand over the virtual stage to Suchi.
Hi, Sunitaji. Thank you so much for the warm introduction. Is my voice clear and audible to each and every one of you here?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So, thank you for having me on this platform, and I'm glad that I can be of some help to the people who are attending this session today. I'll be sharing a presentation. Wait. Yeah. Is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So, before I begin, I would like to understand how many of you personally over here invest in equity markets, and how was your experience? How long you have been investing? And I'll not be taking this session as one-on-one, like सिर्फ मैं बोल रही हूँ आप लोग सुन रहे हो. We'll be conducting this as a one-on-one session so that post lunch है I know नींद नहीं आए and you guys are engaged as I am. Yeah. Uh, so I want to know from your experiences, how is your experience in the market still now? How it has changed over the years, and how you are experiencing this volatility. So any one of you can share your experience. It is fine. Anyone can come forward and share their experiences.
So if I talk about myself, I
Yeah.
left the investment thing and share market thing to my husband. So for a long time he used to tackle all the investments. But couple of years back, I thought that no, let me just invest at my end also. So
Yeah.
now I have actually started investing, though most of my portfolio is into mutual fund investments, but
Okay.
just a few company stocks, not much. And obviously, the kind of money pool that I have put in over there is also very limited compared to my husband's
Right.
over there.
Expert.
So yeah, and
Okay.
as far as investing in, I generally don't go for very risky investments. So that is my personal
Yeah. Yeah.
view to it.
Hello, ma'am. I have started investing last 2 years back.
Okay.
Just a demat account and some small amount I have put in the equity. But I'm really not aware where to, matlab, when to put or which stocks are good. Some simply by reading some few stocks I have taken and just lying there. But
Okay.
not every day I'm doing anything, or it's just like small amount is there, some 70-80 thousand, that's all, but
Okay.
not more than that. And how I should, when I should take it out, or what I should do, I'm not aware about that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So hopefully after this session, you'll get a clarity how you should be managing your fund during this kind of turbulence when markets are not very favorable and there are lots of opportunities that you are finding every day. So, is there anyone else, or I should jump to my presentation back? Okay. Uh, the topic that we are catering today is how to invest in turbulent Indian markets. Today, we are seeing markets are they are very fragile. Okay, they are turbulent. There is every day you'll find an opportunity. Every next day you'll find like इससे तो और नीचे चला जाएगा. अब क्या? So this kind of markets give you an opportunity with always a pinch of risk with it. Okay. Right now, the 2025-26 period has brought unprecedented challenges to Indian market, marked by geopolitical tensions, as already Sunitaji mentioned, tariff uncertainties, persistent inflation pressure, and there are many background noises that is going around. Right, the Nifty 50 index has experienced heightened volatility with mid and small cap stocks particularly underperforming amid global economic headwinds and capital outflows. We all are aware about it. हमें सबको पता है कि market scenarios are not very favorable right now. Geopolitical tensions are there, and each and everything is not in favor of markets. Problem सबको पता है, solution कहाँ से लाना है. We'll not be talking on what problems are happening. सब जानते हैं. We'll be directly jumping on to conclusions, not onto conclusions, but midway हम इस market में कैसे survive करें, right? Understanding volatility is crucial. Sudden market drops can rapidly erode your hard-earned capital and trigger emotional, often counterproductive investment decisions. the psychological the psychology behind financial bubbles. This is one of my favorite graph which I use time to time to understand कि हम as a person how we behave when there are uncertainties. So when you see the silt phase, the takeoff, that is when the smart money comes into the picture. तब तक हमें डर होता है. As a retail investors, we often fear कि यार अब मार्केट इतना गिर चुका है, अब तो क्या ही डाले, और गिर गया तो, right? And right now, as we are already in a bear phase, we are in this kind of a situation जहाँ पे हम already ये ट्रैप के अंदर, यहाँ fear बहुत है मार्केट में. The graph already says कि जब कोई मार्केट में या रिक्शा वाला या कोई भी आपको लगता है कि छोटा आदमी जब ये बोलने लगे कि मार्केट इज वेरी फेवरेबल, देयर आर गुड अपॉर्चुनिटीज कमिंग इन, देयर आर सो मेनी थिंग्स टू इन्वेस्ट, वो भी अगर आपको बोल रहा है कि एलआईसी का आईपीओ भर दो, दैट इज द टाइम टू बी वेरी कॉशियस. Okay, as a investor, you should not just blindly follow whatever is happening in the markets. You should know how to separate noise from your investment decisions. ठीक है, यहाँ पे मीडिया अटेंशन आता है, मीडिया में काफी स्टॉक्स के नाम रिवील होते हैं, बाय दिस बाय दैट, ईच एंड एवरीथिंग. यहाँ पे ग्रीड, डिल्यूजन, और जब आप एक पीक पे पहुंच जाते हो, दैट इज द टाइम व्हेन यू स्टार्ट स्प्रेडिंग द नॉइज. यार मैंने तो ये स्टॉक लिया था, बहुत अच्छा चल गया, एंड देन यू स्टार्ट गिविंग टिप्स टू योर फ्रेंड्स, फैमिलीज, और यू स्टार्ट गेनिंग दोस टिप्स, राइट? यार मैंने स्टॉक में डाला था, बहुत अच्छा बढ़ गया. That is completely psychological. No one will tell you when their portfolio is in losses. कोई आके ये नहीं बोलेगा कि यार सब खत्म हो गया, कोई नहीं आ रहा और बोल रहा आपको. पर जब स्टॉक्स बहुत अच्छे चल रहे हैं या बहुत अच्छा उनको रिटर्न दिख रहा है, सब आपको गाइड करेंगे. और अगर आप उस पीक पे चढ़ गए, then there is no way that you can come out in a profitable situation. यहाँ पे रिटर्न, ये दिस इज अ पीक बुल ट्रैप, यू नो, वेयर देयर इज मार्केट एंथुजियाज्म, ग्रीड है, एंड एवरीथिंग यू फील कि यार मार्केट अब यहाँ से तो ऊपर ही जाने वाला है. सो दैट इज द टाइम यू शुड बी कॉशियस एंड नॉट इन्वेस्ट everything you own into the markets. You should always invest in staggered manner. अगर आपके पास 100 रुपीज है, don't invest 100 rupees altogether. Invest in a staggered positions like 20, 20, 30, depending on your risk appetite. Okay. Then यहाँ पे fear आ जाता है, एक bull trap create हुआ, अब लगता है यार इससे तो क्या ही नीचे जाएगा. Then again it gives you a position to exit. But again as a individuals we know हम इतना जल्दी loss book भी नहीं करते, और हम उस loss को average out करते रहते हैं. And we sit here on fear, right? And then this is a blow off phase. So right now we are already in a the bearish cycle. It's been already 17, 18 months. We are already into it. हो सकता है next 6 to 7 months भी ऐसे ही हो. But what you should be doing here is invest in a staggered position. If you want to invest 100, make a plan how you want to take it forward. Right. The investment landscape, key asset classes to know. So people often try कि हम सिर्फ इक्विटीज में लेंगे या हम सिर्फ म्यूचुअल फंड्स में लेंगे. But what we believe is your investment should cater to all of these 4 categories. There are more categories, but right now these 4 categories are something which you should be having in your portfolios in overall when you see the markets. That is SIP, mutual funds, direct equities, and gold and silver, as we all know, right? So what is SIP? SIP is a systematic investment plan. वो आपको एक रुपी कॉस्ट एवरेज जो करना है, वो आपको उसमें हेल्प कर देगा. म्यूचुअल फंड, अगेन इट इज, अगर आपके पास टाइम नहीं है, यू फील दैट I am already managing my own business and how I'm supposed to manage equities with that. What you can do is you can just invest your money through mutual funds, and rest will be taken care of by the professionally managed people. Then comes direct equities. They have high return potential, but they come with higher risk. So it is a very simple economics: higher the risk, higher the return kind of a situation. But when you invest in equity, you should know where you are putting your money into. ऐसा नहीं किसी XYZ फ्रेंड ने बोल दिया तो हमने ले लिया, हमने न्यूज चैनल पे देख लिया तो हमने ले लिया. बाई करने के लिए सब आपको बताएंगे, सेल कब करना है नो वन विल कम एंड टेल यू. सो डू योर ओन रिसर्च, मेक श्योर यू नो समथिंग अबाउट द कंपनी. इफ यू फील, आप थोड़ा बहुत स्क्रीनर पे उसके बारे में रीड आउट कर लो, आप थोड़ी उसके बारे में कंपनी न्यूज रीड कर लो, एंड देन ओनली यू आर इन्वेस्टिंग इनटू इक्विटीज. Then comes gold and silver. They are traditional safe havens offering inflation hedge and protection against currency fluctuations. So this is something which has traditionally been done in India. हम थोड़ा थोड़ा दिवाली आई गोल्ड ले लिया सिल्वर ले लिया. We often tend to invest in those kind of metals, and they, now we can see the record whatever is happening in gold and silver and commodities. So your portfolio should consist of four of this at least. Am I clear till here, or you want me to slow down my speed or something? Please feel free to share. Or
No, absolutely, absolutely clear.
or anyone wants to share their experience or any doubt, I'm more than happy to cater that, right? Okay. Shall I move forward then? Yes. Why diversification is your best defense? As I said, your portfolio should be diversified. Uh, it is a golden rule. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Your investment should be spread across various asset class. हो सकता है अभी जैसा इक्विटी मार्केट चल रहा है उसमें आपको रिटर्न नहीं दिखे. इस मार्केट में नेक्स्ट 6-7 months और नहीं भी दिखेंगे. But at this time, if you are having your mutual funds, if you are having your SIPs intact, आपको पता है मार्केट गिर रहा है तो भी आपकी SIP कहीं ना कहीं पे बाई हो रही है. सो आपको वो रुपी कॉस्ट एवरेजिंग का जो बेनिफिट है वो मिल जाता है. Practical examples, as I shared, SIPs and equity mutual funds, fixed income bonds, gold creates a cushion that absorbs portfolio shocks during market downturns. When we saw silver reaching peak highs or gold reaching at peak highs. So if your portfolio is diversified, you can get the taste of all. Otherwise, हम below स्क्रीन के सामने बैठ के यही बोल सकते हैं यार काश ले लिया होता तो अच्छा होता, काश ले लिया होता तो अच्छा होता. So it is better to diversify your portfolios into this four asset classes. Historical data consistently shows balanced portfolios significantly outperform single asset strategies during market corrections and volatile periods. If one asset class is not good, performing good, other few asset classes will do better. And there is an inverse relationship when it comes to gold, silver, and stock market. If one goes up, other goes down, and that is what is happening. And now when we see the scenarios are completely different also, कि अब डर लगता है कि गोल्ड सिल्वर ले या नहीं ले या स्टॉक्स में इन्वेस्ट करे नहीं करे. So when there is lot of fear in the market, don't put all your money into it at once. जितना इन्वेस्ट करना है उसका 20% करो एंड ऑलवेज कीप 15 to 20% कैश. कि वर्स्ट केस सिनेरियो में व्हेन यू फाइंड द बेस्ट अपॉर्चुनिटी यू कैन जस्ट पार्क योर फंड्स ओवर देयर. SIPs, the power of consistency in volatile markets. At this moment, I can say SIPs are the blessings because this will help you. You'll not realize this in the short term, but in the long run, you'll realize कि जब markets down थे, तब आपको SIPs जो है उसने कितना benefit आपको कर दिया because आपको कम rate पे वही चीजें आपको जो है वो मिल गई. SIPs work by automatically averaging out market highs and lows, efficiently reducing timing risk through disciplined investing. We as an investor tend to get emotionally attached to our stocks, right? हमें ऐसा लगता है यार ये तो हमने 600 पे लिया था, 250 हो गया, अब कैसे निकालें? या अब 250 पे और कितना ही लेंगे, ठीक है पड़ा है तो पड़ा रहने देते हैं, क्या ही एवरेज आउट करेंगे. If you find a very good opportunity and if you feel that you want to do average up also, don't hesitate doing it. But just don't dump your money in doing average out on tip based stocks. सपोज किसी ने आइडिया बोला ले लिया, किसी ने आपको जो स्मॉल पेनी स्टॉक्स में आजकल इंस्टाग्राम रील के थ्रू अगर आपने कोई स्टॉक्स लिया है, स्टॉप मेकिंग एवरेज आउट ऑन दैट. That will lead your portfolios into complete garbage. To be very honest, I have seen people coming to us and saying कि हमने ये पूरा पोर्टफोलियो जो है वो इंस्टाग्राम के रील पे से बना दिया या टेलीग्राम के कोई चैनल पे से बना दिया. So stop doing that. Avoid those kind of tips because वो आप करते रहोगे, you are earning from your business and dumping your money. That is what you're doing. Rather, if you think that you are you are getting distracted through this markets or something, start with SIPs, start with mutual funds where your funds are already taken care by professionally managed people. Investors who initiated SIPs during 2021 market crash witnessed remarkable recovery and sustained growth despite initial market turbulence. हम बोल सकते हैं कि 2020 में लोगों को लग रहा था सब कुछ खत्म हो गया, इंक्लूडिंग एवरी वन ऑफ अस वर फीलिंग कि अब यहाँ से तो मार्केट क्या ही जाएगा, सब ने सब कुछ बेचना शुरू कर दिया था. क्यों कंपनीज बंद हो गई क्या? फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन आज के ये सारे सिनेरियोज से कंपनीज बंद हो रही है. If the answer is no, then don't sell off your stocks. If stock is underperforming through your expectation, या company management change हो गया है, या there are certain key triggers which have been triggered already, that is the time you should sell your stocks, not because there is market noise going around. ये साइकिल है, हर साल आता है, हर 3-4 साल रहता है, and then this keeps on coming and going. Your stocks and your portfolios should only be dependent on your risk appetite and your research. Choose funds with a long-term track records and risk profiles aligned with your financial goals and investment horizon. Your investment goals and investment horizon period cannot be dependent on your friends, right? अगर उसने गवर्नमेंट स्टॉक्स में डाल दिया, आपने देखा यार गवर्नमेंट स्टॉक्स में उसने तो इतना कमा लिया, मैं भी डाल देता हूँ, हो सकता है उतना रिस्क एपेटाइट आपका नहीं है. His age is 18, 19, 20, 25. Your age is 30, 35, 40. So you can't risk your money investing in all your eggs in one government stock basket. Don't do that. Make sure that you diversify even in your stocks. Any doubt till here, or anyone wants to share their experiences or something? No doubts. Is the speed proper?
Yeah, your speech is possible. I have a question, but I'll ask that after you've done with your session.
No, we can take
Okay.
it simultaneously. It is fine. You can shoot.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we've heard of conceptually we know that if you can invest in overnight funds and not exactly remember short-term funds and all, right? So how many, in your experience, how many of retail investors are actually utilizing this aspect of it? Maybe overnight funds, not so much, but the smaller scale. So, and what should we consider if we want to invest in it? Like, for example, if I have a bank balance, a substantial amount in my saving bank account, and I want to make use of this opportunity, then how should I go about it?
Okay, so retail investors as such are not using short-term funds in general. Retail investors come either they trade, they do the trading part, they do FNOs, or there are second category of people who invest for long term. हमने डाल दिया, हम भूल गए. Okay, there are two categories of people. So when you have like a certain amount of money, you want to park for a short term kind of a period, but you don't know whether I should go for mutual funds or stock, right? That is what your question is. So at that time, you can choose your those certain amount, a smaller amount for your equity purpose. Rather going for a fund, you can utilize that money in investing something which you already know. I'll give you an example. If you are seeing around के ईवी का ट्रेंड बहुत चल रहा है, ठीक है, आपको लग रहा है यार ईवी स्टॉक्स एवरीथिंग, देयर वाज न्यूज़, there was a continuous flow in the market कि EV is going to be a next multi-bagger or something. You are not supposed to go and buy directly EV companies. Okay, what you have to do is, ये अगर EV companies, EV cars अगर चलेगी तो उनको बनाने के लिए उनको पार्ट्स देने वाली कंपनीज भी तो चलेगी, राइट? वी कॉल दैट एज अ प्रॉक्सी कंपनीज. ओके, जो उनके पार्ट्स बना रही है. सो इफ यू सी EV companies have completely different, EV cars have completely different interiors, right? So go and rather invest in those kind of companies where you feel confident about कि अगर EV sector overall चलेगा तो EV को support करने वाले पीछे के जो companies है they'll also work. But if this takes a lot amount of your time to research and do, which as a professional you don't have with your current business, right? So what you can do is you can invest directly into the companies that are in Nifty 50. They are no brainers. Okay, so rather going for a short term fund, you can only invest according to uh, your own benefit. You can just check कि आपको वो Nifty 50 की कौन सी companies you find attractive, and then you can invest in them. Has it, is this solving your question?
Yeah, to a certain extent, yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So, mutual fund versus direct equities, we'll see the pros and cons of both. Mutual fund advantages, it is again, we all know, it is professionally fund management with expert research teams, built-in diversification across multiple securities, lower entry barriers, ideal for beginner investors. अगर आप अभी अभी शुरू कर रहे हैं and you want to take the feeling के how equities work or how mutual fund work, you should go for mutual funds. And there is a regulatory oversight and transparency. Whereas direct equities advantage kya hai? Complete control over stock selection and time. The reason that I was saying to you that rather going for a short-term fund, you can directly invest according to your control, according to your risk appetite into equities. एंड आपको जब निकालना है यू नो कि मेरा मुझे इतने ही पीरियड के लिए रखना था, मुझे इतने टाइम में निकालना है, सो यू कैन डू इट ऑन योर परसेल. Potential for outsized gains from individual winners, no management fees और expense ratios. आपको ये चीजें म्यूचुअल फंड में मैनेजमेंट फीस या एक्सपेंस रेशियोज जो है वो लगते हैं. यहाँ पे डायरेक्ट ओनरशिप मिलती है आपको. 2025 market rally, large cap mutual funds delivered steadier returns compared to portfolios of selected blue chip stocks during turbulent market conditions, highlighting the value of professional management. When you give your fund to professionals, they know when to do the entry, when to take the exit. Okay, that is the most important part when it comes to market. एंट्री लेना सब बताएंगे, एग्जिट कब लेना है वो कोई नहीं बताएगा. सो ये चीजें म्यूचुअल फंड में आपकी जो है वो क्योर हो जाती है. आपने म्यूचुअल फंड में पैसा डाला, they'll take care of your money now. Gold and silver, the timeless hedge. Why precious metals matter now? Precious metals हमेशा से ही मैटर करते हैं because in India we already know कि gold, silver, we are like we have blind faith on those kind of metals. Throughout history, gold prices have consistently risen during periods of inflation and currency volatility, providing a reliable store of value when traditional assets underperform. Indian investors traditionally allocate 5 to 10% of their portfolio to precious metal, recognizing their cultural significance and financial protection benefit. So, even today, there are people who will go for gold ETFs, silver ETFs, if they want to make their portfolios a little more conservative. Do you guys know a concept of core portfolios and satellite portfolio? सो कोर आपके पोर्टफोलियोज को दो पार्ट में आप डिवाइड कर लो. वन शुड बी अ कोर पोर्टफोलियो एंड अनदर शुड बी योर सैटेलाइट पोर्टफोलियो. अब ये आप कैसे डिसाइड करोगे? कोर पोर्टफोलियो इज समथिंग विच यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू switch until and unless you need the money, or there is something significant or drastic change happen in those kind of a company. कोर पोर्टफोलियो हो सकता है आपका 50% हो, सैटेलाइट पोर्टफोलियो आपका 50% हो, या कोर आपका 70 हो, सैटेलाइट 30 हो, डिपेंडिंग ऑन योर रिस्क एपेटाइट. अगेन satellite portfolio is something which will keep rotating. How? It will be depending on the themes that are going around. अभी हमें लग रहा है कि NBFCs चलेंगे, तो हम उसमें NBFCs लेंगे, हॉस्पिटल सेक्टर लेंगे, होटल इंडस्ट्रीज लेंगे. थोड़े टाइम बाद हमें अगर लग रहा है हमने उसमें इन्वेस्ट किया, वी गॉट गुड रिटर्न्स आउट ऑफ इट, देन विल अगेन स्विच टू फार्मा और chemical companies or EV sector or something like that. So your portfolio should always be divided into two parts, that is core portfolio and another one is satellite portfolio. You should decide कि आपको core portfolio में gold and silver रखना है, आपका भी portfolio में core portfolio में आपको कौन से stocks रखने हैं, which you are not going to keep on switching or keep on changing over the period. They are your long term investments basically, whereas your satellite portfolios are something आपने आज लिया, 3-4 months बाद आपने उसको change कर दिया, आपको returns generate हो गए, and then you keep switching that. So your portfolio will get good returns through satellite portfolio, and somewhere your growth in the portfolio is coming through core portfolio as well. Yeah, how to review and rebalance your investments regularly. Set regular review intervals. हम इन्वेस्ट कर देते हैं और कई बार हम उसको बोलते हैं यार अब तो मार्केट इतना गिर गया, अब उसको क्या ही देखें, एंड देन वी forget altogether. But rather forgetting about your portfolios, at least check quarterly or once in twice in once 1 year or something. Establish quarterly or biannual review schedules to systematically assess portfolio performance against your financial goals and market benchmarks. ऐसा भी नहीं होना चाहिए कि आप रोज सुबह 9:15 बजे आप आपका काम जो मेन बिजनेस है वो छोड़ के आप ये सारी चीजों पे ध्यान दें. Markets है, there is going to be ups and downs every day, and this kind of turbulent markets you'll see more reds than green, right? So rather disturbing your schedule or rather disturbing your main core business, what you can do is check your portfolios quarterly. What has changed, what has not worked for you for last 6 months? If something has not worked for you for 6 months to 1 year, switch that to a better opportunity. Check asset allocation. Rebalance to maintain your target diversification. You should always remember कि आपको रीबैलेंसिंग जो है वो टाइम टू टाइम करनी ही चाहिए. अगर आपको लग रहा है कि मैंने 50% इक्विटीज में डाला हुआ है, 50% मैंने गोल्ड सिल्वर किया हुआ है, when market scenarios changes, change your asset allocation as well. The most important, avoid emotional decisions. Resist panic selling during downturns. Focus on long-term objectives and understand market cycles are natural and temporary. The markets run because of people like us, right? So if someone is selling, someone is buying, and that is how things work. Don't get emotionally attached to your portfolios. Don't get emotionally attached to particular stock कि ये तो मैंने इस प्राइस पे लिया था, अब इससे कम में तो मैं क्या ही बेचूं. कोई स्टॉक 600 में लिया है, 2000 हो गया, तब आपने सेल नहीं किया, बट अब वो 1500 हो गया, तब आपको लग रहा है मैंने तो उसको 2000 पे भी देखा था, 1500 पे क्यों निकाला. Don't do that. I'll give you a very practical example for this scenario. There is a company named Trent. We invested in that company at 300 rupees or 600 rupees. Then uh, we were sitting on it till it reached 6,000. We exited at 5,500. We didn't waited कि अब वापस वो 6,000 जाएगा तब बेचेंगे, वो वापस कभी गया ही नहीं. So you should remember कि हो सकता है आपके बेचने के बाद वो बढ़ेगा, और वो बढ़ेगा भी, किसी और को भी कमाने दो, it is fine. But when you don't get emotionally attached कि यार अब तो मैं क्या ही बेचूं, इसको और एवरेज कर देते हैं, you'll end up losing more than earning. And as human, we don't get excited with profit, but we get depressed by loss. That is a human tendency. अगर हमें कम प्रॉफिट हो रहा है वो चलेगा, बट ज्यादा लॉस हो रहा है तो we'll get all panicky about it कि यार अब क्या करें, अब तो कैसे ही निकाले, मार्केट ही अच्छे नहीं है. So this all emotional decisions, stay away from that. Track holdings efficiently.
I have a question over here. Sorry to interrupt,
Yeah.
Shuchi. So, in your opinion, what should be the benchmark that we should set? कि इतना profit होता है तो चलो profit तो you might want to keep that हो, but कितना loss हो रहा है कि don't let your package go or your investment go below that. So, what kind of a loss should we be?
So see, there is no set in standard or set in stone rule that can apply to you or me, or there is nothing a standard answer to this. But on an average, if particular stock has gone down by 10 to 15%, okay, अभी तो सारे stocks वैसे ही हैं जो 10 से 15% already टूट चुके होंगे. But if your stock has gone 10 to 15% down in a good market, in a bull market, that is the time you should say ki, okay, I think I'll switch to some better opportunities. But in this kind of markets where everything has fallen down completely and drastically, सब बेच देंगे तो पोर्टफोलियो में कुछ रहेगा ही नहीं. बट अगर आप देखोगे कि उस सेक्टर में बाकी सारी कंपनीज अच्छा परफॉर्म कर रही है, वो सिर्फ 10-15% टूटी है और आपकी कंपनी जो है वो शायद 20-25% अगर टूट गई है. See the reason behind it. What is the reason of that a huge difference? If you find that there is something wrong happening in the company, management change हो गया है, या product portfolio change हो गया है, या उनका dependence on a particular country was more, जहाँ पे tariff rates कुछ बढ़ गए हैं या geopolitical tensions बढ़ गई है, it's time to cut it off.
Okay. And extrapolating this question to mutual funds, तो mutual funds में फिर हम कैसे NAVs को कितना वो देखेंगे, क्या मतलब how do we look at it from the mutual fund angle? The same.
Yeah, from the same mutual fund angle, I would say, if you're having 5 mutual fund schemes in your portfolio, okay, and you find that there is one particular scheme जो आपको कभी green में दिखी नहीं है, या it has fallen more than those 4, just go and check ये म्यूचुअल फंड कंपनी कौन सी कंपनीज में इन्वेस्ट कर रही है, जो पर्टिकुलर स्कीम है वो कौन से कंपनीज में इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं. If you find that there are a lot of government owned companies or there are companies जहाँ पे geopolitical tensions बहुत ज़्यादा है, that is the time you should switch. और if a very set in ये करने का भी time नहीं है, चलो ये करना, it is also a time consuming task. If something is not performed for 1 year, then start exiting in a staggered manner.
Thank you. Yeah.
Practical tips for Indian investors in turbulent times. Maintain long-term perspective. Stay invested with horizon of 5+ years. Avoid knee-jerk reactions to short-term market noise and volatility. The most important thing, if you're investing in equity markets or mutual funds or anything, whenever it comes to equity market, कम विद अ लॉन्ग टर्म पर्सपेक्टिव. आप ये नहीं सोच सकते हो कि आज मैंने लिया 1 वीक के बाद मैं निकाल देती हूँ. That is something traders do. But if you consider yourself as an investor, you should have that risk appetite कि अगर ऐसे सिनेरियोज हैं जहाँ पे मार्केट कंटिन्यूसली गिर रहा है, keep 20% or 15% cash depending on your risk appetite, कैश इन हैंड या कैश इन बैंक, और आप उसको जो है वो ऐसे टाइम पे यूज कर सको. अगर आपको इक्विटी से लगता है यार इक्विटी इज समथिंग व्हिच इज रिस्की, व्हिच वी कैन नॉट डील विद, do SIPs and mutual fund. Use systematic plan. SIP is something which will help you avoid this market noise. आप उसमें से ज़्यादा जल्दी exit भी नहीं करोगे, and that will give you good returns in the longer run. Embrace true diversification, as we already talked about, कि diversify जितना आप करोगे, अगर कोई एक asset class perform नहीं कर रहा है, दूसरा asset class आपको वो return जो है वो generate करके दे देगा. And after the last, seek professional guidance. There are professionals. We all are professionals here, majorly. We can do that for you. Consult certified financial advisors for personalized portfolio reviews, tax-efficient investment strategies to tailor your goals. This is a graph when we say कि market हमेशा से cycle में ही play करता है. When you will see this, you will see कि .com bubble आया, Lehman Brothers crisis आया, COVID-19 आया. There there were times जहाँ पे this is the journey, this is a older graph, but this is the Sensex journey. Every low is followed by another high, and another high is always followed by a more low. Okay, so this is how markets have performed in the past. Harshad Mehta scam, अगर सबको पता ही है, terrorist attack in US, Ketan Parekh scam. So this is how Satyam scam, demonetization. बट यहाँ से कंपनीज बंद नहीं हो गई या मार्केट खत्म नहीं हो गया, राइट? द जर्नी कंटिन्यूज. इट विल मेक अनदर हाई इन फ्यू मंथ्स, बट देयर शुड बी पेशेंस. अगर आप ये सोच लो कि अब तो मैं सब कुछ एग्जिट करके बैठ जाते हैं, यू विल नॉट एक्सपीरियंस द ग्रोथ हियर. सो always remember markets work in cycle. 3 to 4 years का cycle होता है. Right now we have all, as I already said, we are already in 17 months of bear market. यहाँ से 6 to 7 months और लगेंगे for a revival, for a recovery. But when you think कि अब हम यहाँ से कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा है, सब कुछ losses book करके निकल जाएंगे, it will eventually lead to losses then gains. At this time you should hold right and sit tight. The best thing that you can do. रोज रोज मार्केट मत देखो, रोज अपने पोर्टफोलियोज मत चेक करो. अगर आपने अच्छी चीज बाई करी हुई है, just stick to it and stay patient. These are the markets where your patience are tested. Navigating uncertainty with confidence, accept reality. Market turbulence is inevitable but entirely manageable with smart diversification and disciplined investing principles. Balance wisely, optimize risk and reward by thoughtfully combining SIPs, mutual fund, direct equities, and precious metal in your portfolios. Review consistently. Don't be lethargic. If I'm saying कि अभी भूल जाओ अपना portfolio मत देखो, don't be lethargic. Every 2 months, 3 months, check your portfolios, how your portfolios are performing, how your stocks are performing. Regularly assess them and trust the process. Remember, patience, discipline, and informed decisions are your strongest allies in navigating volatile markets. क्या करना था वो सब बता दिया, क्या नहीं करना है वो अब मैं आपको लास्ट में कंक्लूजन में बताती हूँ. बाइंग ऑन टिप्स एंड रूमर्स. आपके फ्रेंड ने, आपके कलीग ने कुछ खरीदा, आपने भी वो खरीद लिया. डोंट डू दैट. डोंट पार्क योर फंड, दैट इज योर हार्ड कोर अर्न मनी. Don't waste that just because you heard a tip or you heard your colleague gaining more returns out of it or your friend doing good. Verify information. हमेशा आप अपना एक रिसर्च करो कि मुझे स्टॉक में इन्वेस्ट करना है या नहीं करना है. Fundamental analysis, rely on your own analysis of a company's financials and growth potential. And your portfolio should only be dependent on your goals, not anyone else, not even your partner, not even your family member. आपका investment goal जो है वो आपके ऊपर dependent होना चाहिए. You know better that I should be parking my fund into this kind of risky asset or not. So ensure an investment aligns with your overall investment strategy and risk tolerance. So this is about me. I started my journey into the field at the age of 18, and then now with nine plus years of industry experience. I'm a research analyst, certified MF distributor. I have worked with leading investors and have learned various lessons from industry veterans at a very young age. Along with investments, I also conduct seminars, webinars, and publish research reports for other institutions. I enjoy writing and reading alongside, and that's a perfect way for me to spend on holidays. This is my Twitter code. I would request you to just scan this, and where you can read what is happening in the markets on daily basis or weekly basis. I'll keep this on screen.
Yeah. So I have questions, Ruchi. So when you're talking about mutual funds, so should we, so what all aspects should we be taking into consideration? CAGR, we have to see, we should be comparing, should we be concerned about the fund size? Also, what, how do we look at it from that perspective? Ki fund size kya hai? And should we be investing, that I've just in one index fund is good enough, or it should you can go about and do invest in 2 index funds? What are your thoughts on that?
So I'll share a very basic criteria that when you are making a mutual fund portfolio, it should be a combination of everything. Okay, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि आपके पास 100 रुपीज है, आपने 100 के 100 5 अलग इंडेक्स फंड के स्कीम्स में डाल दिया. That should not be the case. Okay, your portfolio should be combination of large and mid cap, flexi cap. Again, if you want to go for index investing, it should be index scheme also. It should be dynamic also. It should be flexi also. Okay, मतलब पांच, अगर आप 5 स्कीम सिलेक्ट करो, पांचों एक दूसरे से अलग होनी चाहिए. Reason being, if large and mid caps are not performing well, another four will help you to gain that loss that you are having in your large and mid cap. Okay. When it comes to size of the portfolio, what we particularly see is who is managing that fund. Okay. Just to this is not a buy sell or any kind of a recommendation here, but as I personally trust Parag Parikh fund a lot. Okay, because I know the fund managers, I have talked to them, I know how they are, right? हो सकता है कि वो चीज हम कैसे पता करें एज अ रिटेल इन्वेस्टर्स, सबके वीडियोस यूट्यूब पे अवेलेबल होते हैं. When you go through those people videos, interviews or something, you will find कि आपकी स्ट्रेटेजी और उनकी स्ट्रेटेजी कितनी अलाइन कर रही है, आपका थॉट प्रोसेस और उनका थॉट प्रोसेस कितना अलाइन कर रहा है, राइट? देन एंड ओनली यू इन्वेस्ट इन दोज काइंड ऑफ स्कीम्स. जैसे आप ओल्ड ब्रिज कैपिटल देखोगे या वाइट ओक देखोगे, तो you'll find many interviews of the fund managers on YouTube. Very easily you'll find the videos. Just go and watch 2-3 videos and then you'll get a confidence कि जो मेरा पैसा मैनेज कर रहा है ना, उसकी आइडियोलॉजी और मेरी आइडियोलॉजी कहीं ना कहीं मैच कर रही है, right? Then for you the fund size also won't matter. Okay, CAGR again you'll find कि यार इन्होंने अभी तक क्या दिया है, you'll get all the details, right? You'll get all the details out there. But uh, always bet on the jockey rather than betting on the stock. That is what we believe.
Okay. So there has been a in the news about the Parag Parikh only. I also am I lean towards that only, but there has been some news that they are going against what they were, the core philosophy. अभी recently news में आया. So how? What are your thoughts on that?
Again, you have to. It is like separating wheat from the chaff. You have to avoid certain noise and you have to check the track record of those promoters, those fund managers.
Fund managers, right?
Yeah,
right.
those fund managers. And when we invest in companies also, बहुत promoters पे अलग अलग news आती है, but you have to again cross check, verify what news is important to you and what is just a noise created in the market.
Okay, thank you so much. Any questions from our audience, our participants? Please unmute yourself, or you can take the opportunity to write in the chat. Okay, so no more questions from anyone. So before we wind up, I'd just like you to let us know as to what should be. I talked about mutual funds, right? So I
Right.
said so. I've gone through my own way of thinking that okay, index fund hona chahiye and growth fund hona chahiye, and then mid cap and small cap fund. So traditionally, as a thumb rule, we know that the most money that you can make is in a small cap fund because they have a propensity to rise. Large cap funds have given they'll give you stable returns, but the amount of return will be much less than what you
Less
can
than
make in your
small caps. Yeah.
mid cap and small cap funds. So what are your thoughts? What should you some key points or bullet points that we should keep in mind when we are looking at mutual fund investments? And if you have, supposedly, if I've invested and I've gone the SIP route, so how and when should I be, supposedly I have some money left, or some windfall coming in my way. So how should I go about investing that in my funds which are already on the SIP route? So what should I be checking? Which of the SIPs is should be the one that I should have a lump sum amount in. So, like for example, if I have some funds, I put in Parag Parik, but that is also then goes against the philosophy that उसमें fund वो बहुत ज्यादा है, जो fund base है,
Fund size बहुत
so
बड़ा
fund size बहुत बड़ा है, so there is वो concept वहां पे भी लग जाता है कि आपको कितना returns मिलेगा उस पे. So just give us a few pointers as to what we can think on, or we should keep in mind when we are talking about.
So, if you're starting now, okay, if you're starting very early, if you are a person with an age of 18, 20, 25, okay, you are just started earning, और आपने अभी अभी investment शुरू किया है. At that time, I would say your risk appetite is more than a 50-year-old person. Okay. So for those young beginners, I would say they can go for small cap and mid cap combination straight away. Okay. They can diversify with mid cap, small cap, flexi cap, dynamic portfolios, or something of that sort. But when it comes to a matured age, a little bit matured age, where our risk appetite is low, okay, there we should have a combination. Again, I'll say कि अगर आपने flexi में डाल दिया large cap में, अगर if you are not willing to go for large and mid cap, you should go for small cap, mid cap, or diversify your like a combination of all should be there. I'll not say कि large cap को एकदम ही avoid करो या mid cap को completely avoid करो. Don't avoid anything because markets are uncertain. We don't know what kind of growth will be coming from which kind of a sector in the coming times, right? So diversify into 5 different schemes which are interrelated to each other but not completely related to each other. Stay away from sector specific or sector agnostic schemes, right? If you are very confident, if you are from a background of manufacturing or something, अगर आपको लग ही रहा है कि this is something I can take risk with, then and then only go with manufacturing kind of funds or completely sector focused funds, completely pharma focused funds. अगर आप बहुत ज्यादा confident हो, आपने उतनी research की है या आप उस sector से belong करते हो, then and then only go with those kind of funds. Otherwise, diversify into different set of categories.
Thank you so much. Anyone has any questions? No? So I'd like to thank you all for taking the time out and coming and sitting through our session and gaining knowledge and insights into how we should be building our portfolios. I'd like to thank Suchi for taking the time out, sharing her insights, her experience and expertise. A small token of our appreciation and thanks to you, Suchi. Just give me a second. I've got, okay. I had a certificate of appreciation to share with you, but I deleted it accidentally, so I'll mail it off to you. I'm so sorry about this, Kufa, but just so that you have taken the time out, I want to thank you and for sharing your expertise. I'd like to thank all our core committee members with whose help and support we've been able to get across and have this session. And last but not the least, our participants, our viewers, and our listeners who have made this possible for us to sit over here and exchange ideas and views on the turbulence of the markets and how well we can, or how we can equip ourselves and work towards intensifying the returns from our portfolios. Thank you so much, Suchi.
Thank you so much for having me.
You all have a great day and a great weekend ahead.